Good afternoon. This is the team one, and we're going to talk about Scotland. I'm going to talk about the history of Scotland. The ancient times and origins begin on 3200. Skara is built on the Orchid Island, one of the best preserved Neolithic settlements in Europe. 40 AD, the Romans arrived in the island of Great Britain. They attempt to conquer southern Scotland, but are contained by local tribes, notably the Caledonians and later the Picts. 142 to 163 AD, the Antony Wall is built north of Adrian's Wall, the northernmost frontier of the Roman Empire. The Middle Age, the Kingdom of Alba. 843 AD, the unification of the Picts and Scots, Irish settlers, takes place under Kenneth MacAlpin, giving rise to the Kingdom of Alba, which will eventually become to Scotland. 1296 to 1328, Wars of Scottish Independence. The Scots fight for their sovereignty against England. 1297, William Wallace leads the victory at the Battle of Stirling Bridge. 1314, Robert the Bruce, Robert I, defeats the English at the Battle of Bagnall, securing de facto independence. 1328, the Treaty of Edinburgh-Northumberland recognized Scottish independence with Robert the Bruce as king.
Hi, I'm Natalia, and I'm going to talk about the rest of the history of Scotland. Well, in the 1560, the Protestant Reformation led by John King, took place in Scotland, where the country embraced Protestantism, breaking with the Roman Catholic Church. This significantly transformed the religious, political, and educational life of the nation. Then, in the 1542 to 1567, the reign of Mary Queen of the Scots. She was a Catholic in a Protestant country, and she clashed with the nobles and the Queen Elizabeth I of England. Then, in 1603, Mary's son, James VI of Scotland, inherited the throne of England upon the death of Elizabeth I, becoming James I of England. The crowns were united in the same persons, although Scotland and England remained separate states with their own parliaments. Then, in the 1707, the Act of Union. Following financial difficulties and political pressure, the Scottish Parliament voted to join England, creating the Kingdom of Great Britain. The Scottish Parliament was dissolved, and Scotland's interests were then represented in the Parliament at Westminster and London. Okay. Then in the 1946, the Battle of the Cultura marked the final defeat of the Jacobites and led to the repression of Highland culture. Then the Scottish Enlightenment in the 18th century, Scotland became a center of thought and innovation with figures such as philosopher David Hume and economist Adam Smith. Then the Industrial Revolution. Scotland was an industrial powerhouse. Cities like Glasgow became world centers for shipbuilding, engineering, and textile manufacturing. Then in the 1999, the Scottish Parliament was re-established in Edinburgh, returning significant self-governing powers to Scotland for the first time since 1707. In the 2014 independence referendum, after an intense and camping, the Scots voted to remain in the United Kingdom. 55% voted for no, and however, the issue of independence remains a central point of Scottish politics, specifically after Brexit.
Hey, my name is Cesar, and I'm going to show you the languages and literature in Scotland. Scotland has three main languages that coexist, like Scottish English, Scottish, and the Scottish Gaelic. In the languages, what about the Scottish English, the dominant and official language in Scotland? Lingua franca. An example of this language, we can find the drum, a portion of whiskey, and sporran, a traditional bag that usually the Scotland people use for torch anything. The Scots or Lowlands, is a distinct Germanic language spoken primarily in the lowlands, and it shares roots with English, but has its own grammar. Why? Because the vocabulary and the rich literature of Lowlands it's more big than the Scottish normal. Next, please. And the Scottish Gaelic, it's a Celtic language considered the founding language of Scotland. I mean, this was the first language spoken in Scotland, and spoken mainly in the Highlands and Western Isles. Let's talk about a little in literature. What about Robert Burns, the national bard, a popular bard either of Scotland, and a central figure of Romanticism in that age? Sir Walter Scott, considered the father of historical novel, like years and years ago, he helped define Scotland globally. And Robert Louis Stevenson was a master of the adventure novel and psychological horror in Scotland. And we have contemporary literature because there is not only things or authors on the past. We have Ian Rankin. He wrote the Torta Nor, a very popular genre that offers a dark and realistic views of Scottish life. One of the most popular, Lane Banks, he wrote about literary fiction and science fiction, a lot about series. And we got the most popular, I guess, J.K. Rowling, also English, because J.K. Rowling it's from British, but Harry Potter saga was written in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Hi, my name is Ari. I'm gonna talk about tradition and clothing. First, Hogmanay is the name Scots use to refer to New Year's. This is a 3-day celebration, and this tradition is followed with ritual, which Scots hope to try good luck. Then we have Alcohol A. This is a usual festival. This festival commemorates the Vikings' past, and there people dress a Viking costume, walk with lit torch, and toward the sea. Now, clothing. Kilt is Scotland's national attire, which Scots wear with great respect and pride. In the past, it was a long piece to protect against the cold. And bagpipe is Scotland's national instrument. The bagpipe was developed in the Highlands, where it looked its current from become quite popular among clan members. That's all. Thank you.